right, so we are back in the round pen with the red colt today, and I've got just getting over a cold, so you'll kind of have to bear with me. My voice is kind of croaky and having a little bit of a hard time, but I'm feeling good enough to come out here and work with this colt, and it's a nice day, and we are going to take advantage of that. This colt, we are to the point today where I'm going to try to get a first saddle on him, and we're going to see how it goes. Now, if he's not there, I'm not going to push it too hard. I'm going to just let him work at his own pace here, and we'll kind of see what happens and how he does. I've done a little bit with him, not a lot, for the last few days. So I brought him in here today, and I've curried him off, and I've put the rope around his legs a little bit, and so that's kind of where he's at. And so I want to go through this desensitizing stuff right now, the stuff that we've been using with him, and I want to run him kind of through those paces here for a minute. And we're going to start today with this flag. I'm going to bring him right out here where you can see him, and I'm just going to start working this flag. Now I'm going to start out here because his bubble is about out here. And I'm just going to move side to side like this, making a little bit of noise and hitting the ground. Okay, good, really good. He's coming toward me just a little bit there, which tells me a lot about what's going on with him. Okay, I'm going to work into his bubble just a little bit. He's doing pretty darn good. He's making progress, and that's the thing we look for. You know, each session I want him to be making progress. I don't want to have to start over every time I bring him in the round pen. And there are colts that happens with. They they just don't learn very quick, and you start over all the time, and man, that just takes so much energy and effort to start over, and it's kind of discouraging too. So I look for progress that this colt's made, and what's going to tell me if he's a good colt or not is if he makes progress every time. And so far this colt has. Like I say, he's way different than the buckskin colt Mesa, but he's made progress every time. Okay, you can see I got inside his bubble just a little bit right there. It's okay. Had a little bit of a reaction, but it wasn't bad at all. And if you notice, he's keeping his head on me, which is exactly what I want him to do. Good. He's coming towards me just a little bit. Okay, I'm going to get in here just a little bit closer. While I'm doing this, I wanted to just bring up some comments that we've had and a conversation that I had. I had a friend call me the other day, a really good friend, and he has a colt this same age, a little bit different breeding, but same age, and he's starting this process with his colt. And he told me that his colt and this red colt were really similar. That, you get right on the edge of that pressure bubble here, and the horse gets what you call on the muscle, meaning that they're just tense right there. And just wondering what he can do to shorten that bubble up, close the distance a little bit, and get that colt to relax. And that's a great question, and so I want to answer that. First off is this takes time. It just takes time. There's no way around that. You will not get where you need to get with these horses if you're working them once a week for 30 minutes. It just won't happen. You've got to be consistent in your training, and I would say you need that 2 to 3 times a week for at least 30, 45 minutes. And if you're doing that consistently, I feel like that you can start to make some progress there. Every day is even better. So I know sometimes our time's pretty limited and every day is a lot, but when you're first starting these colts, that's what you need. If you're only coming out once a week or once every other week, and the colt, it's just not enough. Just not enough. So that consistency is a huge thing with this right here. Okay, I'm going to come into him just a little bit more. Okay, the other part of that answer is I've got to be able to read this colt's body language, and I got to be able to tell like what's going on with him and figure out what's going on in his head. And that'll tell me kind of what I need to do. So you got to pay attention to the signals and cues that your horse is giving you. And so if this horse is on the muscle like this, right here, I need to recognize that and then work through that. Start from right there. Okay, sorry, just had somebody pull up to the driveway here. All right. The other thing you do with a colt that's really reactive this way and that's on the muscle like that is you do a lot of approach and retreat, approach and retreat. These colts, what's happening is their senses, their predator-prey sense is kicking in. And they're trying to figure out how they get away from the pressure and how they get away from danger. And so you got to get them to shift out of that mindset and get them where they don't see you as a predator, okay? So the approach and retreat thing is huge with these kind of colts. Okay. All right, he let me touch him right there. Great. So I've worked my way inside of his bubble. And as you can see, way more relaxed than he was the last time we did this, which is a great, great sign. But what I did here is I was just watching for his reaction, and I was watching his body language, and I was moving at the pace that he was going to let me move to get inside that bubble just a little bit. Okay, now you know we've had a hard time with his right side. So I expect him to be a little more reactive on this side, but we've spent quite a bit of time working on it. And honestly, he didn't even have a reaction that time. Okay, progress, progress, progress. That's great. That tells me that he's learning and he's cued in. Okay, I want to do a lot with this whip, or with this flag, because we are preparing him for the saddle today. And so he needs to get used to me being in close and having stuff make noise. And he needs to be used to me making big movements with my hands and my arms and things that I'm going to throw up on his back. Okay, so as you're doing this, just think about what you're going to look like when you throw the saddle on him. Are you going to bring your arms way up, you know, or are you going to walk up real easy and set it on him? How are you going to do it? And then however you're going to do it, you work on that like right now. You don't want the first time that you've ever lifted your hands up like this is when you've got your saddle coming up on him. Okay, and this colt is going to need some quick movements right in here, right where I am. Okay, I can see he's on the muscle. He doesn't like that. Okay, so we're just going to stand here and we're just going to work on it. He's decided he's going to leave, which is okay. I'm just bumping him around, let him know, hey, you don't need to leave if you don't want to. But just because you leave doesn't mean it's going to stop. What he doesn't like is he doesn't like the combination of me doing this and this coming down like this. Doesn't like that. So that's what we're going to focus on. I need to be able to move around him easy and not have him react, especially once I get that saddle on. I don't want him to take off panicked. Okay. And draw him to me just a little bit here. Okay, I'm going to put this flag down for a second, and I'm going to practice just throwing my rope up on him, just like it was a saddle or a saddle blanket. And I'm going to get in here right close. Okay, I'm inside of his bubble, and I know I am, but that's okay. He's not leaving, so I'm going to stay here. And I'm going to mimic everything that might happen to him as I put the saddle on. Okay, my stirrup might fall down on that offside. Okay, he's doing really good. I'm going to go do this all on the right side too. Not much of a reaction. I mean, just a little bit of a jump, but not bad. Okay, I'm going to get that cotton rope, and we're going to put it around his girth and show him a little bit of pressure. We'll see how he does with that. So back to where we were here, just letting him feel pressure around his girth, getting him ready for the cinch. Okay, now he is doing really, really well. And he is letting me kind of just really work around him, and I am so encouraged by how he's doing. Okay, and like even this part right here that I'm going to do, I'm going to put this rope up over his ears. Okay, move to the other side, move to his right side, which we've had trouble with, and start working it again. And he is just doing really good. I mean, he's letting me work right up to him. Okay, I'm going to put this back on this side, and I'm going to move him around the round pen for a minute and let him feel pressure as he's moving. So I'm going to grab this my buggy whip. And we'll see how he does here. Okay, he doesn't necessarily want to send out very good. There we go. Putting a little bit of pressure on that. And you know, it's not bothering him very bad. I thought he was going to be a lot more reactive to this, and he's actually taken it pretty well. Yeah, like I'm pulling hard right there, and he's okay. He just keeps kind of moving forward and got a pretty good attitude. Whoa, whoa. All right, good boy. Good boy. I need to go the other way with him. Get all my ropes untwisted, my word. Spend more time untwisting ropes than doing anything else. Okay, there we go. Part of that was my fault. I wasn't in the right position on him. I was a little bit too far forward. Okay, same thing on this side, doing great. Speed him up a little bit. I'm going to pull on this girth rope a little bit. Yeah, great. Okay, I'm going to bring him into me. Now I'm going to take my pressure off of him and just let him stand. He's earned a rest. Great. Okay, I'm going to get the saddle blanket and we're going to put that on him. Okay. I'll move him over here where you can see what I'm doing. I'm just lifting my hand up like this to put the rope over his head. And, you know, he doesn't like it real well, but he's doing all right. Okay, good. Okay, I'm going to pull this girth rope and get the saddle blanket. You notice right there that I just carried it low and I didn't mess around like I was moving with purpose. Okay, he actually does better when I do that. If I start slowing down or sneaking or easing up to him, he actually starts paying more attention to me and it makes him nervous. So, okay, I'm going to let him smell this for a minute. Good boy. Now, you know what? I'm going to start on the right side. New side, so I'll let him smell it for a second. Okay. Now, I've only had this saddle blanket on him one time, and he did pretty good. Boy, that was great. I'm making lots of noise as this blanket comes off and hits my legs. Okay, let's go to the other side. Okay, lots of noise there. He doesn't like it, but he's okay. Okay, I'm going to move him around just a little bit with that on his back. Try not to push him out very hard and just let him walk so this doesn't fall off. There we go. Okay, he's doing good. He definitely knows it's there, but he's not super bothered by it. I'm going to reverse him once here, get him to go the other direction. And then I'm going to go grab the saddle. We're going to see if we can get the saddle on him. Oh. Okay, now, before I do that, I'm going to pull the saddle blanket off, and I'm just going to let it hit the ground. Okay, because that could very well happen when we are putting the saddle on him. He could move off, and it could fall on the ground. Okay, I'm going to do it again. Okay, good. I'm gonna do it on the other side. Okay. And I'm moving up to him pretty fast here. Just meaning I'm not slowing my speed down. Okay, got the saddle. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to let him come over here and check it out. Okay. Not too bad. He's watching it. We're just going to walk a circle around it and let him smell it if he wants. Or what I want him to know is that's just an object. It's not something that's going to hurt him. It's not out to get him. And he's checking it all out for sure. Okay, we're gonna walk all the way around it. All right, now I'm going to start back in my routine about getting the saddle blanket on him. And there we go. I'm going to move pretty quick and make lots of noise and let him know all this is okay. Nothing different here. It's the same thing we've been doing. I want him to know that I'm going to have my hands up a little bit. Okay, now I was right in on top of him right there. I was in his bubble. And he stood it about as long as he could. But he doesn't like this movement. We kind of found that out with the flag. Right? And so that's what his reaction was right there. Okay, so one other thing I want to mention just as I'm doing this. So this horse has been a little more, he's taken a little more work than the buckskin colt. And he's jumpy, and I know that about him, and he gets nervous, and he's not sure about me. And so all of that gets in me, right? And so as I am working him here, when he flinches, sometimes I flinch because I'm not sure what's about to happen. You know, if he's going to run over me, is he going to kick me, or what is he going to do? And as the best you can, you've got to be able to control that. I don't want for him to flinch or jump and then have me flinch and jump. That's just not a good combination. And so I'm working on that as I'm working with this horse. But it's not an easy thing to do. But if I can not make a big deal out of it, then maybe he won't make a big deal out of it either. Okay, I'm going to get this saddle ready to put on him. And I'm going to get my cinch and my stirrup up over the saddle here, because I do not want it flopping down on his side. Okay, so I need to get that straightened out. Now, same thing we did before. This is totally new to him. I'm moving right up on him, and I've got something in my hands. He has never seen this before. And so I'm going to approach, and I'm going to retreat. Okay, he moved forward. Good. I'm going to approach and retreat. Okay, I'm going to move towards his shoulder. I'm just going to touch him. I'm going to retreat. I'm going to do this a lot more on him than I did the buckskin. Okay, good. He's letting me touch him with it. I'm going to work this side too. Going to kind of approach him and then retreat. Move into him just a little bit. I'm going to touch him with the saddle. I'm going to retreat. Okay, he doesn't like that real well, but he's okay. He's not too super bothered by it, actually. Okay. Now I expect him to have a reaction. So I want to make sure I don't have a reaction. All right. And I'm going to get that lead rope uncoiled off of my arm because I don't want him to take off and have me get caught up in the lead rope. That would not be good. Okay. Okay, so I've just put it on there and I've got the weight on there. Now he is really, really not sure about this. So what I want to do right here is just relax for a second. Let him breathe. Let him know it's okay. Didn't hurt him at all. Okay, I'm going to take it off. That's part of that approach and retreat thing. Okay. That was good. Now you didn't hear him right there because it was pretty quiet, but he took a deep breath, which also told me that he was like, oh, okay, that wasn't too bad. Okay, we're going to do it again. Okay. This time I'm just going to let it sit there for a second. And I've got to move to this right side. And I've got to work over here for just a second. And I'm going to pull this stirrup down. And I'm going to pull my cinch down. I've got the back cinch up underneath the saddle here, so I need to pull it out. Okay, very, very good. All right. Okay, now I'm going to take my pressure off him and just stand here. Both of us are going to breathe for a minute. And he is doing well. Okay, so when I cinch him up, I'm going to work it slow, and we're going to go through the same process we did when I was putting that rope on him. So right here, I'm just going to pull on that cinch because that's the first time he's ever felt a cinch before. See him put his head around there and check it out. Okay. With him, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up on it like that for a minute. I'm going to let him feel it. Taryn's pulling up here, so hold on 1 second. Take that out. Okay. Taryn wants to see what's going to happen. He thinks that this horse is going to blow up and it's going to be fun to watch. So he's sitting here in his truck. Okay, we're going to do it again. Now, if you notice, I don't have my stirrups up in my saddle right now because I don't want to make a mistake here and have one of them flop off right while I'm doing this. Okay, so I'm going to put this cinch back on him again. Now, I don't have it looped or anything, but I'm pulling it tight. And then I'm going to let him know there's going to be a release to it. So he gets used to that. Okay, I think we're at a place where I'm going to try to tighten this cinch up and get this saddle on. Now, is this horse going to buck? Honestly, I think he is, and I would be surprised if he doesn't. Okay, it was just one of those things where he had a reaction and jumped forward. It's all good. Taryn and his little boys, Levi and Roan, are right here watching. And this horse might have just saw them, I don't know. Anyway, he might buck. I'd be surprised if he didn't. And we're going to be okay with it. And we're just going to let this thing play out. I'm not going to try to put him in a situation where he bucks. I'm going to try to do everything I can to keep him from bucking. So, but we're just going to see how it goes. Okay, so for just a minute, ooh, fella, I'm going to put my stirrup up right here. I'm going to rub him, let him know it's all good. Everything's good now. I got a problem. I can see my cinch from my other side is underneath my saddle. So I need to go over there and get that straight before I tighten this saddle up. That could be a wreck. Okay. Okay, got it fixed. Okay, here we go again. We'll go through the same process. Put this on him again. I'm going to put this up here just for a second. Make a little bit of noise. Okay, here we go. I'm going to go ahead and put this on here now. And I've got to get it tight enough that if he does buck or have a big reaction, that it stays on and it doesn't slide underneath his belly. The last thing in the world I want to have happen right now is for this saddle to be too loose and have it go underneath his belly. That would be a bad deal. Okay, I pulled it tight right there. And he's like looking at it, but you can see him, he's licking and chewing. So he's like, okay, I trust you, you're the leader. What are we doing, what are we doing? Okay, I'm just gonna go a little bit more. I'm gonna rub his girth for a minute. And I'm gonna tighten him up just a hair more. I got one more little hole right here to get, there we go. Okay, that saddle is on him now, tight enough. And I'm going to pull the stirrup down, and I'm going to back off of him for a minute and just let him think about what's happening to him. He'll probably smell that saddle. He's going to look at it. Okay, he's going to move off. I'm going to let him move off. I'm not going to push him out too much. I'm just going to let him walk. Okay, he is doing really well. I know you can't see him right there, but he's not liking that saddle, or the pressure, I should say, but he's not overreacting to it. So I like to let him go 2 or 3 times around like this, so that they can, I don't know, kind of get relaxed a little bit more. Okay, man, he is doing really well. Okay, I've got to move him out a little bit now. We're going to speed him up and loosen his feet up, and hopefully he takes it all in stride. Oh, what a good horse right there. I stopped and bent over, and he was watching my cue, and he stopped and turned into me. Perfect. Okay, here we go. We're going to move him out just a little bit. Okay, now I'm not going to sneak around him here. We're going to get going. So when they start to trot like that, and that cinch grabs hold of them pretty hard, just like that. Okay. Now I'm not going to let him rest right there, but he's going to know that that bucking piece doesn't change anything. And that's not going to hurt him, and I'm still the leader, and I'm still in charge. Now he's kicking a little bit at his back cinch, or not the back cinch, that it's the off, or the billet that's hanging down that hooks the back cinch on, and he's actually kicking at this on side. Okay. I need to push him out a little bit. I'm going to have him break into a lope right here, a canter. There we go. Good, good, good. Okay, I'm going to change directions with him. I'm making lots of noise with my whip. He's moving out pretty good, but he doesn't want to. He'd rather walk right now. But he needs to know that he can move with that saddle on his back. Okay, I'm going to lope him for a second. There we go. Whoa, 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 whoa. Okay. I'm gonna let him stand here for a minute. I'm gonna take my pressure off of him. I'm going to approach him and I'm going to retreat. Because I want his mind to be in the right place. Okay, so one more thing I want to do right here is I'm going to take this lead line, lunge line off. And now I want him to hook onto me. Got lots going on outside the round pen. Grandkids and my wife and Taryn, and this horse is having a hard time focusing on me. But you can see he's starting to lock onto me. I want him to come toward me right here. So me clicking is putting some pressure on him. And he's wondering what he should be doing right now. Right, really, really good. Now this horse, he is locking onto me because I'm the leader in here. And he's hooking up with me because I'm the leader. He's not hooking up with me because I'm beating the crap out of him or being mean to him or forcing him to do that. He sees me as being in that dominant role, and that's why he's hooked into me. So if you've got a colt that's not hooking into you, it's because they don't see you as the leader, and you just have to keep working at it. So one of the things we did here is I forced him out, you know, pretty hard after he bucked. That was me asserting my leadership. Okay, and that actually gives this horse more confidence and trust. And if you watch a horse out in the wild and they have their herd that they're with, there's a dominant horse in that herd. There's usually a mare and then there's the stud, but most of the time it's a mare. And these horses, they hook on to the lead mare, whoever she is, or stud. And so that's basically what we're doing right here, getting him to cue into me and hook onto me. Okay, and again, he's doing that because he sees me in that position. Again, not because I've trained him to do it or because he's scared of me, but he sees me as the leader and everything's okay. Again, so if you have a horse that's not hooked on, you've got to do more to establish your leadership with that horse. He's doing a lot of licking and chewing right here. And he is relaxed. Okay, I'm going to put this lunge line back on him for a second. And I need to work with him right now, like while he's got this saddle on him. So, just real quick, we're going to do quite a bit of desensitizing right here. I want him to know that I'm going to put this whip just like we have been in training. It's going to make a different sound and it's going to feel different because he's got a saddle on, but it's not any different. Okay, the other thing I am going to do here is I'm going to turn him and have him follow his nose. And that's a different feel too when he has a saddle on. The noise, that's why he jumped. All right, so that's going to be it for today. I'm going to keep working him here for just a minute. Just continue to just desensitize him. I'm going to rub the saddle and things like that, and then we'll pull that saddle off. But overall, this colt did great. He really did. That little bit of a bucking spasm he had there, honestly, that does not bother me at all. And again, I said this in the other video, but I'm going to say it again. That does not mean this horse is a bucker. That's not what that means. It means he had something on his back that he's never had before, and he was checking it out. He definitely kicked into the predator-prey thing right there, and then we just worked it out. And you can see, like, you know, he's still getting used to it, but he's over it, and we're moving forward. And so I'm super happy with his progress and how he is done. And if you think back to where he was a few weeks ago to where he is now, we are making progress, and that's what counts. Anyway, I hope all that makes sense, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Please comment and tell me what you think. If you've got better ways of doing things, great, or different things that I should be doing, I'd love to hear them. All right, thank you.